This is like nerve-wracking.
It is.
Like, you think shooting a podcast is easy, like just talk for a little while.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're just going to have a conversation and talk about things. But then when you put technical responsibility into our hands, that's
Like,
where
right now,
I'm like sweating.
to-
Welcome
Right.
back, you guys, to Funjelah. This is episode number 2. Very excited. I did not glue on eyelashes for this episode. I was like, you know what? I'm going to come bringing the heat for episode 1. I'm going to get my best eyelashes. I'm going to do some shadow. I'm going to do all the things. And then today I was like, you know what? They know me. It's
all natural.
I mean, not even that. No, I put on some makeup for sure. Put on makeup. But I was like, nah, I'm not even going to worry about these lashes because they were annoying me last time. Anyway, we're back. Oh, also, last time we talked about being super on brand for me. Another thing that's very on brand is this shirt that I'm wearing, this tank top. I did buy at a grocery store. Bringing it back to my joke, my last hour special where I said I'm approaching the age where I'm going to start getting my clothes the same place I get my groceries. And I sure did. Although this one's not from Costco, because that joke I go on to talk about my love for Costco. This one I actually got at a Kroger's. We were on the road in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah. I didn't even know Kroger's had clothes like Walmart. You know how Walmart has like everything?
I know. Well, you're killing me because you're calling it Kroger's.
Oh, what is it called?
It's just Kroger. But that's such like a mom. Like my mom all the time, she's like, I went down to the Kroger's. That is like,
wait, there's no S?
Al, there's no S on Kroger.
Don't pull it up on Google right now.
I'm telling you right now, there is no Kroger. Look at that, Kroger.com.
Wait, so you say I went to Kroger? That's how you say it?
Well, so Kroger's more like prominent in the South, like out here in LA, it's Ralph's.
Right. You guys, I mean, I know that because I know when I'm in LA.
But it's technically just Kroger. But like growing up and like my mom and everyone was always like, well, I went down to the Kroger's. Gotta go to the Kroger's.
Oh my God.
Because I think technically Ralph is Ralph's.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, Ralph's is Ralph's with the S. But Kroger,
Ralph's has an S. That's like Nordstrom and Nordstrom's.
Yeah.
Nordstrom. I don't know which one I say now. Nordstrom's. I'm going to Nordstrom's. No, I say Nordstrom. I'm going to Nordstrom. I do one Nordstrom.
I say Nordy Rack because
Nordy Rack.
Wow.
Oh, okay. That sounds like Nordic Trek, like remember the fitness machine from a long time ago? Are you too young?
No, I know what that is.
Oh, okay.
I love infomercials.
Oh, okay.
Actually. We can get into that later. But you bought your shirt at
Yes,
Kroger's.
I bought my shirt at Kroger's. We were there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We went to go get some food because we were staying at a little rental house. I brought Rosie with me. I'm like, let's go get some strawberries, some yogurt, and hey, they have clothes here. I'll buy myself a tank top. And so I did. And so that's my tank top that I'm wearing right now. Shout out to Kroger for this super cute tank top. That was probably $8, I think.
Lemons. It's very summery.
It is very summery. Thank you. I like
She's
it.
on
I'm wearing the wrong bra with it.
Oh.
I'm having bra issues right now. Let's talk about that for a second. Being postpartum. I gotta stop saying postpartum. She's 1 year old. Being a mom now. I changed all my bras because my boobs grew, my chest cavity grew. So it wasn't even just like I had a bigger cup size. Like I had to get like bigger band size because I just expanded, and I got rid of all my old bras, and now I only have maternity bras, and they're not giving me the best support. And so this bra that I'm wearing right now is like, oh, this is a casual chill Skims bra, and it's super chill. It's like I might as well not even be wearing a bra right now. I'm like, okay. I'm so insecure. I keep covering.
Can't tell from my distance.
Okay. Can you guys tell at home? Leave me a comment. Just kidding.
Gotta get you to Vicky Seeks immediately.
My God. Yeah. But also, is Victoria's Secret for, like, isn't that for the young girls? Should I be bra shopping at Nordstrom now?
I think it's for all ages, if I'm being honest.
Is it?
Did you know I worked there through college?
I did know that you did that.
And I helped all ages. I was a bra specialist, which just means I was like this troll in the fitting room that was like, do you want to try on a bra? And
Want me to measure your boobies?
want me to measure
That was
boobies?
you?
That was me. And I would be like, get in here, sugar plum. Get in here.
Oh, because
Give
you
me
were
those.
in Texas.
I was in Texas. Because I used to say like, how you doing, honey bunch?
You would say
But
that to people?
I would say that to people all the
Oh.
time, actually. I would say, how's it going in here, honey bunches of oats?
No, no.
I did. Just I've been product placing since college, yeah. Um, but I still shop there. My mom, I think probably she probably doesn't want me to tell you that. But I think it's all ages, but also I used to be like hardcore them only just because
Mm,
that was where I was
loyalty,
and stuff. Yeah. But
ride or
I
die.
branched out and big fan of Aerie, big fan of
Oh.
Nordstrom and Skims, love Skims. So it's like
I
it's
have a
kind of
couple
just
Target bras.
I have Target,
Yeah.
I have Third Love. Like there's
They're, no, who's the one that I have?
I think we just gotta expand our
Yeah.
horizons. Try them all.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try them all. I'm
Yeah.
gonna if you have a good bra that is not a maternity bra,
Yeah.
shout out to your girl. Like, let me know. Send me a message and let me know where you're getting your good bras at, because I need some
Mhm.
assistance. Because I got big boobs, but they're all droop. Yeah.
Wait, why did I just picture those inflatable things that are at cars?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep. When the air's in, they're going home for the day. Like,
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
we've fed all that we can feed, and we are done. So on Funjelah, we are going to talk about gratitude. Well, our gratitudes and our mattitudes. On the first episode, I kind of laid it out for everybody what Funjelah is about and how I use gratitude to help my mental health and anxiety and manifest good things and goodness in my life. And one of the ways that I do it is I practice my gratitude. I think of 5 things that I'm grateful for and I say them out loud. It's one thing to think of something that you're grateful for. That already is like, think of things that are good, think of things that are pure, think of all these beautiful things, right? And it already kind of lifts your mood, lifts your vibration to a higher frequency. But then when you go a step further and you say it out loud, then you hear yourself saying the thing that you are grateful for. So it's that big circle of gratitude where you have it in your body, you say it out loud, you hear it, it comes back in your body, and that's big circle of gratitude, and you're raising your vibration to a higher frequency, closer and connected to God, to love, to source, however you want to say it. And it's just really, really good, positive tool to use in your life if you struggle with anxiety or just you want goodness in your life. You're just like, you know what? I'm having a bad day. Like, I'm in a funky mood. I stubbed my toe. You know those days where one little tiny thing goes wrong and then all of a sudden, like, you're walking out of the bathroom and your robe gets stuck to the doorknob and you're like, ugh, just that one little thing just kind of like sets you off and you're like, oh my God, like, who cares? It was just one little thing, but it was after you stubbed your toe. It was after you dropped your phone and cracked it. It was like one of those days. Pause. Let's think about 5 things that we're grateful for and say them out loud. On this podcast, we're going to do that. We're going to raise our frequency together, raise our vibration to a higher frequency together. But we're also going to keep it real. And we're just going to talk about what's pissing us off, what's annoying us, what is that thing that is making you mad and giving you an attitude, as I like to call it, a mattitude. What is your mattitude for this week? So we're going to go through and talk about our mattitude and our gratitude. And I'm going to start off this mattitude with this is something that I'm newly dealing with. I've been traveling for a long time by myself, and I've now started traveling with a baby. It's a whole learning curve. You got to learn what works for you and everything. And before I traveled with a baby, I always had grace for kids on planes. Of course, it's annoying, but I was always like, it's a kid. What are you going to do? Right? Unless it's like an older kid kicking your chair, then I could be like, hey, mom, can you tell him not to kick my chair? Please. That's different, right? But like a baby crying, you can't help that. So my attitude that I'm bringing to the table today is people who don't have grace for babies on airplanes, for parents doing their best on airplanes. Let me tell you, we are already uncomfortable that we're traveling with a baby. And then when said baby starts crying and fussing, nobody wants to hear a baby cry. We don't even want to hear the baby cry. We're doing everything we possibly can. Trust me, if there was something we could do, we are doing it. But the problem, if my baby starts crying and fussing, and then every time she starts crying and fussing, you also start fussing, what is that going to do besides piss me off? You know what I mean? Besides make Mama Bear come out. I had an incident recently, and I was shocked at how quick and aggressive my Mama Bear energy came out. This is what happened. We're on a plane, and it's myself and my nanny sitting next to me, and we have Rosie with us. And then across the aisle from me, like directly next to me across the aisle, there was a lady. She was older. She was somebody's grandma. And, you know, she was just sitting there on her phone. Well, I noticed that every time Rosie would start fussing, crying a little bit, the lady next to me would go like this. Can you imagine like what
Annoying.
that feels like?
Yeah.
Because like at first I was like, wait a minute, maybe this has nothing to do with me. She's on her phone, she's texting, maybe somebody just texted her something and she's like responding to that text. Let me not jump to conclusions, because I'll tell you right now, like I was ready to put my parachute on and jump to all the conclusions. I was like, oh, we about to fight, me and this grandma right here. I'm like, let me settle down. And then sure enough, Rosie starts whining again and starts fussing and being like she doesn't want it. She's a baby. She doesn't want to just be sitting there while we're taxing. Sure enough, lady over here is like, and I felt my blood like go all the way up my throat, like into my face. And it was kind of like that feeling where you're like, I'm about to fight. Like, oh no. Like my hands, like I'm losing control of all bodily functions. Like, oh no, my will to be a decent human being is leaving. I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, oh no, I'm about to fight. And so then at this point, first I started with a stare. I was evil staring her a little bit. And then I was just kind of like I'm literally just like staring at the lady. You know how sometimes you drive on the freeway and somebody cut you off and you pull up next to them and you staring, or you're at the red light, right? And you're just staring like, look at me. I hope you do look at me right now. It was like one of those kind of moments. So I'm like staring at this lady like, come on. You just wanted to huff and puff about my baby fussing. I'm staring right here. Let's do this, right? She didn't want to look my way. Then it happened again. Rosie fussed, so she fussed. So I turned to my nanny. And now at this point, I've been working with my nanny for maybe like 4 or 5 months. Okay. 4 months, right? Yeah. We're good. We are friendly with each other. We like each other. She's seen me maybe like argue with Manny or something, but not like a crazy argument, but just like where we get annoyed with each other. So she's seen me like a little annoyed, but she's never seen like old school Anjelah come out. Like she's never like Anjelah who's retired, like Anjelah who got spice, like Anjelah who's like, let me take my hoops off, like the inspiration for Bon Qui Qui, like that girl who's like deep within me. Like she hasn't experienced that version of me. And so I said to her, look, you're about to meet a whole different Anjelah that you have not met yet. And I started explaining what was happening with this lady over here who was like huffing and puffing. Every time Rosie would huff and puff, I'm like, she got one more huff and one more puff before I'm about to get involved. And apparently I was saying it loud enough for the lady next to me to hear me. And I say apparently on purpose. I was definitely saying it loud enough. Like that was my threat, not to her because like I'm not trying to get a felony, but that was my like threat to just the air. And like I wasn't directly to you like, oh no, I was talking about that other lady. You know what I mean? But I was definitely saying it loud enough so her ears could hear me be like,
did you hear that?
we about to. I'm about to do this. Woo, woo, woo. She gonna regret the day. Watch when this happens. Oh my God. I wish she would. Try one more time. Give me a huff. Like, I was just doing the most. And
what was Alejandra? What was she like? Was she like, oh, what's going on? Was she stressed?
Okay, so she definitely, her eyes perked up for sure and was like, oh no, what's about to happen? But she did see what was happening. She saw the lady responding. It was very obvious. Yeah.
Right.
And because like Alejandra and I had, that's my nanny, her name's Alejandra. Alejandra and I had shared a couple looks while the lady was first huffing and puffing, but it wasn't, we were still unsure. We're like, no, that's not.
Yeah. Kind of those looks of like, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah. Am I crazy? I'm not crazy, right? Yeah. So then when I was like, look, this is about to go down, her eyes did get a little bit big. And maybe there was a little bit of fear in there because I don't know if she thought that I was asking her to back me up or like I was just trying to warn her, like, girl, you about to see me go down. And like we're about to go down right now, and we're gonna throw it down. And you're about to witness this. And I apologize in advance for everything that's about to happen. But I don't know if maybe she thought I was being like, you got my back? Let's go. I'll pull her hair. You kick her. Like, I don't know.
He's like, wait, this wasn't in the job description. Like,
yeah. She's like, I make bottles. I can do nap time. Yeah. But no. So I said it loud enough. The lady did hear me. And then all of a sudden, lady had a change of heart and was like waving at Rosie and playing peekaboo and like, ooh, hi, you know? And I'm like, okay, see, you just need a little assistance with your attitude problem is what it was. You just need a little reminder, boo, we hear you.
Just a mild threat. And she's back in play.
Yeah, just a mild threat. Everybody needs just a mild threat that's not like directed like directly at them, just kind of like in the air to be like, oh wait, is that me? Am I doing that? Maybe I should chill. Yeah. That really set me off. And I remember like I had to cool down. Like I really did have to cool down. And like I wasn't going to physically assault. Like that's a joke. Like that's me being like, you know, extra, and I was angry like, oh, I'm about to punch this lady or whatever. Not really gonna punch a lady, but I will say words that are very hurtful.
Verbally punch.
I will verbal the heck out of her. Let me tell you, I will.
Words, phrases, you've got them.
I listen. I was calculating like what I'm gonna attack first. Like what I'm gonna go for the jugular. I'm gonna go like, how can I hurt this lady's feelings? And but I don't want to do that. Like that's not a nice part of me. So that's my mattitude, okay? And again, like I say, nobody wants to hear a baby cry. I understand that, everybody. I'm not saying like, hey, be happy my baby's crying. I'm not saying be happy. I'm just saying it is what it is. A baby's gonna baby. We don't want to hear it either. We're uncomfortable. We feel terrible. We really do. We're like, oh my gosh, my baby's that baby on the plane. I am so sorry, but there's nothing I can do about it.
I don't feel like you should feel terrible. It's like you said, a baby's gonna baby.
Oh,
I don't think you should feel terrible. I mean, sure, I know it's probably frustrating, but like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like really sympathetic and like,
no, I appreciate that.
A lot of feelings. But like, I mean, every time I hear a baby cry, I honestly like, I feel bad for the mom. I'm like, ugh, that's annoying. That sucks that she's having to deal with that. Yeah. That's my approach.
I feel bad. And I know. And you know what? My brother, Kenny, I know for a fact this kid hates kids on planes because every time he's on a plane and there's a baby crying, he records himself on Instagram. So you can hear the baby crying, and he's doing like the like rolling his eyes and being like, and he'll write like, here we go again. Of course, this baby, blah, blah, blah. So I know my own brother is like that. And I'm like, he's not the only person like that. I'm sure there's somebody else right now on this plane recording Rosie fussing, being like, of course, I got the plane with the fussy baby and, you know, whatever.
I don't know. I feel like we've been on so many planes now that I'm like, I'll take the fussy baby over like the flight attendant who was like singing over the intercom that one time. So
I thought you were gonna say the rude flight attendant. You know how sometimes there'd be that rude flight attendant where you're like, retire, bro.
Yeah.
Don't.
Like, listen, we're all just trying to also get to the destination. Like, we're all tired.
I love flight attendants, let me tell you. Love flight attendants.
Some really good ones out there.
There are some real good ones. There are some good ones to the point where I've told Danielle before, like, hey, reply to whatever email and let them know that we loved this flight attendant. She was super nice. Like, I wanted to go on record just so she knows that she went above and beyond, this lady. So I love flight attendants, but there are some flight attendants out there that love their power in the air. Oh man. And I get that nowadays that people have lost their mind when they travel, and there's like fights and people assault flight attendants, and
Wild West out there.
Lost their minds flying these days. So I get it. Flight attendants need to be like on guard, like, oh, what? You know what I mean? Like they have to have a little bit of that with them. But this is before. Like I've encountered, I mean, I've been traveling, touring for 17 years. Yeah. I've encountered crazy rude flight attendants over the years to where it's like, this is absolutely not necessary what is happening right now. And not even like being rude to me, like being rude to somebody else. And I'd be like, oh my God, I feel so bad for that person because they are just going in right now. Like for no reason, just because they're in a bad mood. And I've had people be rude to me and snippy with me, and I just gotta like be like, okay, well, you're the boss.
Or like, do you need a bag of pretzels?
Yeah. Yeah. Would you like a pretzel and a little cocktail? Let me give you a little bottle of
ginger ale
vodka for you. But anyway, I don't know how we got on that tangent. Just to bring it back, I do love flight attendants. Shout out to all my flight attendants, especially my Delta ones, because you know I be that million miler status. Hey, Delta. They are not a sponsor of this podcast. And shout out to all the Southwest ones too, because you guys are funny and you guys like to have a good time. So I'm down for a good time. Southwest Airlines,
Southwest is what I call it. Southwest.
I'll tell you one. I don't think I've ever encountered a boo-boo flight attendant on Southwest.
No, they are. Shout out to my friend Stuart, who works for Southwest. He started in their customer service. Like they, very good training. Very like, we're a family. Like like, and like everyone I know who's like worked at Southwest, it's like, oh yeah, I've been here for 30 years. I've been here. Like they stay. Like I've never, like this is the longest job I've ever had with you personally. But like whenever I hear someone like, oh, I've been at the same company for like 30 years, I'm like, the same one the whole time? Amazing.
Yeah, if they say it like that, but I feel like these other airlines are like, it's been 30 years. The same old job. That's what it sounds like to me.
Like, what is
these
that
crazy
spirit?
flight attendants.
No,
But anyway, that's my mattitude. I got it out. I got it
Got it
out
out.
of my body.
We
I'm gonna let it go. I purged. I got my mattitude out. I'm gonna let it go. It's out of my body. Do what it do. Let's move into gratitude. And let's raise this vibration. Raise vibration. This has been a big month for me. Yeah. I celebrated 13 years of marriage. That is a long time. That's a long time, especially in Hollywood. That is a really long time. Really 13 years of marriage. I officially have a 1-year-old. Wild.
What in the world?
It was our anniversary, my mom's birthday, my brother's birthday, Mal Hall's birthday. Like, this is a very, very busy, but Penelope, my bestie, her birthday's at the end of the month. Jill Layton, my bestie Jill, her birthday is the same birthday as my mom's. This is a very, very busy month for me, but so I have a lot to be grateful is what I'm saying. A lot of family, marriage, baby, all those things. I'm going to say my gratitude for this episode is that I survived a year of motherhood. Listen,
you did it.
I did it. And there was many, many years where I didn't want to. I had no desire for this life. And now I am so grateful. I am so grateful for all the things. And I did a joke in which hour special was it? I think it was technically not stalking. It might have been the one before that. But I did my joke about my friend Maya. And she was telling me about, her experience as a mom, and she's like, you know, Mateo woke up with a flu. He had a fever. Then I had to pick up Noah from school with foot, hand, mouth disease. I haven't slept since 2006. I don't know what time I don't know anything, but it's so worth it. And I used to be like, that does not sound worth it, like at all. I don't want any part of that. None of that sounds good. None of that sounds fun. What do you mean it's worth it? Like, I had no comprehension of how that could be worth it. Like, what do you mean that's worth it? I don't get it. I don't understand. It was never worth it to me. Then I have a baby, and I fully understand that statement. Everything is worth it when she's so fussy, and when she doesn't want to go down, and I'm holding her. There's like sometimes where like my arms are tired. I'm like, girl, I gotta just get you down, and you're gonna have to cry this one out. But then there's times where I'm like so happy that I get to hold her a little extra longer. And then as soon as I get her down, I'm watching her on the monitor. Like, so it's been so worth it this first year, but I will say it was hard. Harder than I thought. And that first 6 months especially was hard. And I had full-time help. I always talk about how my sister didn't have full-time help. My mom did 4 kids on her own. Yes, she had a village. Like, my grandma would help when she could. My aunts would help when they could. Like, everybody pitched in and helped. But I just think about my mom friends and family members who did it on their own, and how hard that must have been, because here I am with full-time help, and I was still like, oh my God, how do we do this? What do we do? Looking back, I will say this. I had a baby nurse with me for the first few months, and I loved her. I was so grateful for her. I still am. I still will message her and send her pictures of Rosie, and I'll call her every now and then. She was like another mom to me when I needed her, because my mom lived out of town, so she couldn't be with me all the time. My mom still works full time. So my mom would come when she could, but in the meantime, I had my baby nurse who was like another mom to me. Oh my God, I loved her. She was so helpful. She was so wise. She had been doing this for like 30 years. Baby after baby, like, she knows babies. Babies are her business. And she's very family oriented. And I loved this woman, and I leaned into her wisdom hard. Like, I leaned in, like, whatever she said was like gospel. And I'm like, yep. You know, you've been doing this for a long time. Looking back, I wish I would have trusted myself more. Like, my motherly instincts. Even though I had never done this before. I had never wanted to do this before. I didn't, read all the books. I read a couple books, but I wish I would have just trusted myself a little bit more. And there were times I wish I also would have challenged myself. Now, here's one thing that really, really helped. With her helping me through the night, I was able to sleep and I was able to get rest. And that I fully 100% believe that helped my mental health and kept me from having postpartum depression, because I was able to rest. I was able to get my mind right. I was able to focus on balancing my hormones again, taking whatever supplements I needed to take, eating healthy foods, bone broth, like all the things that I had researched and looked up how to get my hormones back on track as quick as possible. I did the placenta pills where they encapsulate your placenta. I did all the things because I was so afraid of getting postpartum depression. I was like, and I knew I wouldn't be able to take my supplements that I was taking, my MRE supplements. I wouldn't be able to take them because I was breastfeeding, and there were certain things in there in the supplements. Everything was all natural, but it was it would make my milk like not come as fast or something like that. Like, there was something that really wasn't great for breastfeeding. So I didn't take my supplements. So I knew I wasn't going to have those tools. I wasn't going to have that to like help me with my mental health. And I knew my hormones were going to be going crazy. And I had done research and talk to friends. And I remember one of my friends telling me that after you have a baby, the amount of like hormone change and shift in your body is so much more than when women went through puberty. Like when we first were like getting our period and like all those hormones, like, you know, teenage girls are the worst.
Sure.
Me, I was awful. I was an awful teenage girl. And like our hormones are just like crazy. And so they're like, when you have a baby, it's like a million times worse what's happening with your hormones. So I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be an awful human being. I don't want to get depression. Like I really was focusing a lot on my mental health and how to recover. And so I feel like within that, I'm so grateful for the sleep that I got so that I was able to recover from my C-section, recover hormonally, all of the things. But part of me wishes that I spent more time in the trenches in the beginning with Rosie, with the struggle of, you know, midnight through the night changings. I was still feeding and pumping every 2 hours for like the first few months. And so it's like every couple hours I was waking up, pumping, feeding her. And, you know, my whole feeding journey is a whole different story that I posted a video on my YouTube about that, how I didn't realize that she had a tongue tie until a few months in. And and that was the problem with our breastfeeding journey that we were having. So I had to supplement, I had to pump. So every 2 hours I would wake up, feed her, and then pump my boobs for like 30 minutes. And then go back to bed. And then I would be up again like an hour and a half later and do it again. But the thing that I didn't have to do was my baby nurse would then change her diaper and put her back to bed for me so that I could be asleep before I had to wake up an hour and a half and do it again. So those moments were so helpful so I could get that extra rest. But it's also those moments that I kind of wish I got to experience. It's one of those things where it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know? Like, I'm sure there's so many moms listening right now going, nah, girl, you you had the help. Take the help. Get that rest. You didn't want this. Trust me, girl, you didn't want this life. We were out here losing our minds. You didn't want this.
Yeah.
But being honest, there is part of me that wishes that I had a little more of that time with her and that experience with her. But I am so grateful for my baby nurse and all the help that she provided me during that season. Another part of motherhood that I survived that I'm so grateful for, my marriage. It is hard on marriage. And not just like, oh, the baby's crying, so we're both frustrated and now we're fighting with each other. Like there's an element in that. But for me, for us, it was back to my hormones. My hormones had me on one. Like after I came home from the hospital, there was a part of me that was so angry with Manny for no reason at all.
Yeah.
No reason to be angry. Just fully angry with him. I wouldn't smile at him. I didn't want to look at him. I don't know what it was.
That's a thing. I've heard of that. They call it postpartum anger.
Oh.
Like I have a friend who was like, yeah, I was diagnosed with postpartum anger. Like that's totally a
But
thing.
like towards her partner? Because I
Yeah.
only had it towards him.
Yeah, I think it was like mostly towards him. I think it might have been more generalized, but like
yeah,
it was towards him for sure. But like, and it may not be like, I'm not a doctor, right? And I don't have children.
Not a doctor. Whose TV
Yes.
intro was that? Dan Gore?
Yeah. Was it Dan Gore for? Yeah.
Is it? I think you're not a doctor. That's funny. Okay, continue.
Anyway, but right, and so I'm like, everything I know about motherhood is just my friends who are moms, right? And but yeah, but I remember hearing that and I was like, "Excuse me, what? Were you just out here swinging a bat? Like what's
Mm,
like?"
I was so
But
angry.
but I feel like to me, I'm like, don't like feel guilty about that because I've heard that it's very common.
Yeah. And at the time, I didn't realize that I was doing it
Mm,
until he called me out on it and
mm,
he was like, "You don't even smile at me."
oh,
And I was like, "Oh."
hard.
And he was right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even smile at him. And I'm like, "Ooh, okay, this is not good. This is not the person I want to be. This is not the wife I want to be. This is not, he doesn't
mm,
deserve any of this for sure." But it's
yeah,
not like I'm consciously choosing to be this way towards him. It was literally my hormones were ruling the world. And I didn't even realize what was happening until he was calling me out on all these things and was like, "Yeah, you don't smile at me. Like, did I do something? Is there something that I can do to help? Like, what can I do?" Um, uh, but it was really, really hard in the beginning. And I would say after that, after he started calling me out, I had to purposely choose to caress him or cuddle him, or even I remember saying in my brain, "Touch your husband." Like I was sitting next to him. And I
yeah,
remember telling myself, "Put your hand on his head." Like he loves when I scratch his head. And I had to
yeah,
tell myself, "Put your hand on his head." And I had to put my hand on purpose on his head
mm,
and like scratch his head. And I remember the whole time I was very aware of what I was doing. I'm like, I'm scratching
yeah,
his head. I'm giving him some love. I
yeah,
am I am being affectionate. I
mm,
am filling up his cup. I'm doing the thing
yeah,
that he loves. Like I remember being very aware of it. And it wasn't until 6 months in postpartum that I felt the switch. And I
mm,
felt when I was showing him affection without choosing it, like
mhm,
naturally. And I remember we were in the car one time and I was like scratching his head or holding his hand or doing something. And then in the moment, I like kind of woke up and I was like, "Oh, like you're just doing it."
yeah,
Like it was natural again. Like I was just
yeah,
touching him
yeah,
again and I was just being affectionate again. And it was like, whoa, it's been
mm,
a long time since I just felt myself naturally just being affectionate towards him. And it was around the 6 month mark when things changed for me and I started feeling more warmth and love,
mhm,
more cariño towards my husband. And I am grateful
yeah,
that we survived that
that's
first
good.
year of marriage. It was difficult. That first year of marriage, that first year of having a baby, that our
In
marriage
marriage.
survived. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful. Year one has been incredible. My daughter is so special,
Oh, she's the
so
best.
fun, so cute, so smart. I just like, I love her so much. I'm so grateful for her and I'm grateful for this experience that I have been blessed to experience, because I know there's a lot of women out there who have wanted this experience, who are trying really hard to have this experience, who tried and had to give up having this experience. Um so I know that this topic is really difficult for some women to hear, and I acknowledge that. And my heart definitely goes out to any woman who wants to experience motherhood and has any kind of challenge with
Mhm.
it, or has had to say, it's time to let that go for whatever reason. My heart definitely goes out to those women. And I'm just so grateful that I don't take it lightly that I've been able to have this experience. I definitely don't take it lightly. So that's my gratitude.
Mhm. That's a good one.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you
That's
so
beautiful.
much. Danielle, do you have a mattitude and a gratitude? I know I've run the clock.
Oh,
But
so kind.
do you have anything that you would like to contribute to episode 2?
You know what? Yes. Always. I've always got something up my sleeves.
I know you
Um,
do.
my mattitude is okay. So here's the thing about me and medical emergencies.
Oh no.
Um, so I I could be knocking on death's door and they'll be like, take her to the hospital. And I'll go, are we sure about that? And because I don't like it. And so for the past 2 weeks, I don't know if I in the woods? I can't remember, but I have had these pinhead size bumps, red, itchy, all over my legs for the past like 2 weeks. I haven't changed my laundry detergent. I haven't changed my lotion or my body wash. Nothing has changed, but my legs are so itchy and they're so like inflamed. And I'm like, what is going on? And
I am
everyone's like, what are
so
you
grateful
doing?
for your vulnerability right now. Like, just
Thank
keeping it all
you.
the way real with your red itchy
So real.
bumps.
And no, but it's so silly because I see that and I just go, that's weird. It'll probably just go away on its own, I'm sure. Like, I just don't, I see things like that and I'm like, whatever. And, but it's actually, it's like keeping me up at night at this point.
Oh no.
And I first texted, and here's what I do. I go to a doctor, do I Google nothing? I just text my mom a picture of my legs and I go,
Hmm.
what's this? What do I what do I what do I do? I'm a full grown adult, but I'm like, Mom, what do I do?
Meanwhile, you have
And
this contagious rash that you're just spreading everywhere, and
everywhere,
all
all
your
over my
friends have
house.
it now.
Mhm. Yeah. And but it's only on my legs. It's not on any other part of my body. And at first I like sent my mom the picture and I was like, what is this? And she just goes, that's weird. And I was like, okay, not helpful.
Not a doctor.
And then not a doctor. And then today she just sends me a picture of like the Benadryl itch cream and she was just like, try this. And so I did. I went to a drugstore before we started recording this and just slathered my legs in this cream and I'm like, hope for the best.
How's it
And
feeling?
it feels okay, but it's just I'm so annoyed because I can't. I'm like, what caused this? Like what I
Did you go
haven't changed
hiking recently?
anything. No. I don't know. I've been to the garden department of Home Depot, so I don't
Do they
know if
sell
there's something.
poison oak at Home Depot?
I don't think so. It's mostly cactus, but I don't know. And it's just and like and then I was talking to one of my friends and she was like, "Oh, well sometimes you can just like develop an allergy to your detergent." And I was like, "The detergent I've been using for years?" And she goes, "Yeah, you can just like one day you're just allergic to it." And I was like, "I don't
Your
know."
friend is also not a doctor.
So I'm not a doctor. And because I guess maybe like from like overuse, you like develop, I don't know. So now I've been like researching like sensitive skin, organic laundry detergent,
Oh
and like,
no.
and I already use like
Myers.
hydrating sensitive skin lotion too.
Oh,
So I'm like,
uh-huh.
and I have such dry skin. She's a dry skin girly. I literally, everyone's like trying to get rid of oil and I'm like, put it on my body. So that's my attitude is of this mystery ailment that I cannot
Please keep us posted. Let us know what the rest of your
solve.
friends say before you go to a doctor, and then let us know what the
Just
doctor
like
says.
fully avoiding. I'm like, surely I could maybe just like I even contemplated in Walgreens. I was like, maybe the pharmacist would know, and I just quickly show her my leg and be like, "What do you think this is?" Anything to avoid making an appointment and going.
Bro, I can only imagine what kind of things pharmacists see from people who are just like
Oh,
you, who don't want to go to the doctor or they can't go
for
to the
sure.
doctor. And they're like, let me just ask this person real quick. Hey, what do you think this is? Hey, I've been
Yeah.
having this pain. I've been having this itch. Hey, like, and they use the pharmacy as their like
Oh, I'm sure.
nurses
I
helpline. If there are any pharmacists out there right now who have any great stories,
yeah,
can you please just message me? Let me
yeah,
know some of the craziest things that you have seen
yeah.
from somebody right in the middle of CVS that was like, hey, if I just unzip my pants real quick and pull this down, can you tell me what this bump is?
This weird spot. Yeah. I don't know. I have major medical anxiety and so it takes like there has to be like, hey, you're on death's door and I'll be like, all right, let me look into it and see if someone's available.
Well,
I do.
please
I just
do.
every time I go to the doctor, they have to do my blood pressure twice, like before and after, because before they're like, hey, should you be on medication? Your blood pressure's through the roof. And I go, I don't know, maybe some anxiety meds because I don't want to be here. um,
Can
so
you
that's yeah.
please get that handled before I see you in person?
Oh,
Just in case it's contagious, please.
listen, I've got the cream. So, and then I bought regular Benadryl because nothing keeps you from allergies like just passing out. And that's what Benadryl does. I even looked for like non-drowsy Benadryl and they're like, doesn't exist. You
Good luck with
can't
that.
be allergic if you're asleep. That's their catchphrase, I
Well,
think.
maybe now that you got it out of your body, you got your mattitude out, maybe the
Yeah.
rash will just leave. Maybe you just spoke it out and you're like, you know what? I accepted you now. Goodbye. Thank
Yeah, I'll just
you.
leave it. I'll just leave it in Manny's studio. He's
Oh
cool
my
with
gosh,
that,
I'm gonna
right?
need you to sanitize as soon as you leave.
I okay.
What's your gratitude?
My gratitude. Okay, so this one's kind of fun, I think. I so I didn't live alone until 2 years ago, right? And I was really stressed about it and I was freaking out and then I was like, "You know what? I'm going to embrace this world of living by myself and having the ability to live by myself in a two-bedroom apartment, which is very not common out here in LA. It's just housing is crazy, right? And I am actually so grateful that I took that risk and I took that step because I am just a hostess at heart and I kind of was just like, "Hey, I have this extra room if anybody's ever in need." And 2 of my best friends are, moving to Colorado, and they were needing a place in between this move of, like, they had to be out of their one place, but couldn't get into their new place, for, like, a month and a half, and they tried to get an Airbnb, and that's crazy right now, and it fell through, and so they were like, "Hey, can we come? Like, is it too much? Like, is it, like" she was like, "Can we come over? Like, can we stay with you for a month and a half?" And, like, and one of my friends, she just was like, sleep on it." And I was like so I took a nap and was like, "Alright, I'm good. Come on in here." Like, I was like, "I would love to have you guys at my house." And it's just been so fun and rewarding to, like, spend, like, their last few days in LA with them and like, I forgot what it was like to have such a lively home.
Mm.
Like, that makes it sound like I'm sad when I'm at home alone by myself, but it's usually just 'cause I come home and my house is quiet and there's no noise, and so it's, like, so fun to, like, come home and there's somebody on the couch or there's,
That's fun.
music playing or somebody's in the kitchen and I'm like, "Oh, I miss this." Like, and
Yeah.
this is so like, such a special time with them
Mhm.
too, especially with them moving to a new state and not going to be able to see them as often as, um, we are used to. And these are friends that I've had, like, since the day I moved here, and
Mhm.
so it's just I don't know, it's just been, like, a really special time, and I'm like part of me is like, I wouldn't have had that had I not made that choice 2 years ago to trust myself to handle living alone and keeping this apartment that I love so, so much. Um, yeah, so it's I don't know, I just love when, like, a one small choice can, like, lead to all these other incredible moments
I love
that
this
are
for you because
special.
I know your living situation from prior.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I'm so proud of you for living by yourself because I know
Yeah.
you were scared to do that. But
Mhm.
there's so much growth that happens in living by yourself.
Yeah.
And honestly, like you learn a lot about yourself living by yourself.
Yeah.
Um, you realize how awesome it feels to walk around naked. Like that's fun.
I didn't realize I was doing that a lot until people came back in and I was like, "Oh, my bad.
Oh,
Oops.
bras in the home
Alright,
now.
let me get a
Okay.
robe real quick."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But also that you get to have this time with your friends and
Yeah.
community is always amazing. Listen, I've had people living with me for a very long time.
Yes,
And
yeah.
I enjoy both. I enjoy when it's just me and Manny, and I enjoy when we have visitors and when we have people. Like we love community, we love our family, we love friends, we love hosting, we love entertaining. We love all of that, and I know how awesome that feels, and especially as your friends are getting ready to move and you get to get those last days with them. What a cool time. That's a really good grateful.
Yeah. There was one night, we had another friend over who built a shelf for me, and I said thanks by making dinner because I was like, "This is a friend discount, right?"
What a good friend.
And we all sat at my kitchen table, which seats 4 people, and there was 4 of us, and like served like family style food. And I was like, I don't know that I've ever done this at this table.
Oh, that's fun.
I was like, this is so. I was like, are we a family? I was like, what?
Yeah, that's fun.
Like this, and then I was like, I want to do this more. Like, I want to have people come to my house just so they could sit at my table and I could go, here's some pork chops. Just for you. Have a seat.
That's amazing. That's so good. I hope y'all feel good listening, because that's kind of been the point of what we're doing. We're talking about things that we're grateful for to raise the vibration. You know what I mean? And I hope you guys practice that after you turn this off. Just think about some things that you're grateful for. Say them out loud. Call a friend. Say, if it is your friend, call your friend and tell them that you're grateful for them and why, whatever it is. Say it out loud. Hear yourself. Remind yourself of what you are grateful for. We all have so much to be grateful for. But it's one thing to know it, and then it's one thing to actually hear it. Remind yourself. Really hear the things that are going amazing in your life. And not only will it help you, even for a moment, to take your eyes and focus off of what you may be dealing with and struggling with, but it really does raise your vibration to a higher frequency so you can feel better. You can feel more connected to God. You can be on this level where you can manifest great things into your life, where you're thinking about good things and good things happen to you, where you're thinking about getting the parking spot when you get there and you get the parking spot when you get there. You're thinking about getting picked for whatever meeting and you get picked to lead the meeting that week. Like whatever it is, think about these amazing good things that you have in your life. Say them out loud. Hear yourself say them. And if you'd like to say them to me, I would love to hear what you are grateful for. And you can call and leave a message and tell me what you are grateful for. This is the phone number, 747-300-5380. Is that right, Danielle? Is that the phone number?
That is correct.
Okay, good. Right. Because I forgot to write it down and I just went to my phone. And I was like,
I had it pulled up. I was ready.
Okay, good. Because I didn't even program it yet in my phone. Yeah. And I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure this is the phone number. Yes, this is 747-300-5380. You can call me, leave me a message, tell me what you're grateful for, and I might just play it on a future episode. As long as you like keep it short. Don't give me no 15-minute gratitude. Mm-hmm. Okay, keep it short. If you can. You know what I mean? Or if you want to talk to me for 15 minutes, you can. But I probably won't play the whole 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Just call me.
Also, it might cut you off. I don't know if there's a time limit.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what the time limit is either. But call me and tell me what you're grateful for. And then let me know how long it was until they cut you off and hung up on you.
Yeah. Somebody wants to do a test call?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to my second episode of Funjelah. If nobody's told you today, I am grateful for you. See you next time. Bye.